Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Konexio Technical Insights. I'm Rahul Randeria, and I would be conducting today's show. Today, we would be discussing regarding the trends, the setup, the technical indicators, and technical patterns on the indices as well as different asset classes. Now, let us discuss what we have mentioned in the last week show. In last week, we have discussed that Nifty and Bank Nifty, looking at the daily pattern, might rally for the initial days and then might see some sort of selling pressure at the high levels. But that exactly didn't happen in that particular expected lines. But though market remained calm and sideways for whole of the week. If you see, for first day, Nifty corrected a little bit and then slowly and gradually for the next 3 to 4 trading sessions, I mean to say from Tuesday to Friday, it slowly and gradually inched up for the higher level. But that was not that much convincing or what we call a decisive move, because the move for the last, from Tuesday to Friday, it seems to be a little bit exhaustive in nature. Now that was only because we are expecting an FOMC meeting, which is a Fed meeting on 16th of the current month, and they would be discussing regarding the inflation into the US markets, or they might take a call that in coming future or in the foreseeable future, US might think about tapering off the quantitative easing program which they have started in the last couple of years, and now from maybe in the near future they might discuss or they might think of tapering that. So the global markets are waiting for that particular Fed meeting. Because of that, the global markets are into a consolidation mode or seems a little bit exhaustive or looking out for some triggers which might decide the trend in the coming days. So on the 16th of June, we will come to know that what would be the call being taken by the Fed meeting on 16th of the June. So till then, I feel that market would remain sideways, and then we might see a decisive trend for the coming days or months. So definitely looking at the daily charts, which we will discuss as of now. On the daily charts in Nifty, what we have seen in the last couple of weeks, I mean to say last 3 to 4 weeks, you can see it has been rising in an upward rising channel, in a narrow channel, making higher tops, higher bottoms, where RSI has also just tested the comfort zone. It has not reached the overbought territory, but it has just tested those particular comfort zone on the daily charts. But probably on the hourly charts, it is into an overbought territory. So definitely at these levels, as I said, that you can see the last 4 to 5 trading sessions, the candles, last 5 candles, it is moving into a sideways move, which clearly indicates that market is exhausting and waiting for a decisive breakout or decisive trend. And that is because as we have discussed that the global markets are waiting for the Fed meeting, what would be the outcome of the Fed meeting on the 16th of June. So let us be cautious at these levels, keep focus over the stock specific action, and let us discuss the important support and resistance for the Nifty for the next week. So the important support in the next week are placed at 15,648. Below that, the next support is placed at 15,566, and below that, the next support is at 15,459. Above that, I mean to say on the resistance, the first resistance is placed at 15,901. Above that, the next resistance is at 16,016. And above that, the third resistance is at 16,116. So most probably till Fed meeting, till 16th of June, I'm expecting market to remain sideways. There might be stock specific action. And then after the Fed meeting, we might see a decisive trend in the markets. Now let us discuss Bank Nifty. Similarly, in Bank Nifty also, on the daily charts, Bank Nifty has also been moving in an upward rising channel in the last 6 to 8 weeks. You can clearly see on the daily charts that Bank Nifty has been moving into an upward rising channel, making higher tops, higher bottoms. And currently, it is just about its support trend line. So definitely, again, Bank Nifty is also waiting for some decisive move to take place in the coming days. Again, RSI also showing some sort of exhaustion in the comfort zone. So definitely we have to watch out for the decisive trend to the in the Bank Nifty also. So one needs to be cautious at this level, or one needs to watch out for the decisive trend to take a breakout or see a breakout in the coming week. I mean, to the next week. So the important support in the Bank Nifty is placed at 34,734. Below that, the next support is at 34,410, and below that, the support just near the downward support trend line, which is almost near 34,000. But technically, the support is placed at 34,142. Whereas on the upside, the first resistance is placed at 35,344. Above that, the next resistance is placed at 35,545, and above that, the psychological mark, which is 36,000, which would act as a major resistance for the next week. So definitely, traders need to watch out for this important support and resistance in Nifty and Bank Nifty, and then trade accordingly in the primary direction of the trend, or watch out for our live update in Nifty and Bank Nifty on our Twitter handle. Now let us discuss the third segment of our show, which is option analysis, where we would discuss the index option analysis in where the rising open interest in calls and puts in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So now let us discuss open interest built up in Nifty calls and puts. In Nifty calls, the rise in the open interest was seen in the out of the money calls were seen around. You will see on the screen. The rising in the open interest was seen in 15,900 calls, then 16,000 calls, and 16,100 calls. You can clearly see now on the charts that there is a rise in the open interest, but in the percentage change, it's clearly indicating that still market is indecisive in nature, at least for the next week, that where it wants to go. So now one needs to watch out for the trend deciding levels once it breaks. So the trend deciding level for me, at least for the next week in the Nifty, would be around maybe 15,900. Once it breaks, then we might see a rally towards 16,100 for the next week. So traders need to watch out for this particular strike price also and technical levels, and then trade accordingly in the direction of the breakout. So for me, at least the trend deciding level for the next week would be 15,900 on the upside. Until and unless it is not taken out, market might remain in a sideways zone or might consolidate for some couple of days. So in Nifty puts, the open interest was seen. I mean to say the rise in the open interest was seen in the Nifty puts where in 15,700 puts you can clearly see on the screen. Then 15,600 puts and 15,500 puts. Here there is clear indicators in the percentage changes or the premium change that there has been a writing in the Nifty puts. So I feel that 15,500 would act as a strong support for at least for the next week. So looking at the option analysis, again I feel that market is waiting for some decisive breakout and or decisive trend or decisive trigger, which is the Fed meeting. So definitely 16 June would be the date where we might see, or on the 17th, we might see a decisive trend in the Nifty and Bank Nifty also. So now let us discuss the rise in the open interest in the Bank Nifty calls and puts. First, we will discuss the rise in the open interest in the Bank Nifty calls. In Bank Nifty, there was a rise in the open interest in the out of the money calls where 35,500 calls, then 36,000 calls, then 36,500 calls. Again, you can clearly see that in the percentage changes, there has been a correction or a writing in the out of the money calls in the Bank Nifty. So definitely, I feel that initially 35,000 would act as a major resistance. Once it breaks, then Bank Nifty might see a breakout or a rally towards the level of maybe 36,000 and 36,500. So definitely, again, market might remain slightly sideways or might see some sort of pressure. And once we get any trigger from the Fed meeting, then we might see a decisive trend in the Bank Nifty also. So now let us discuss in Bank Nifty puts the rise in the open interest in the Bank Nifty puts. In Bank Nifty puts, the rise in the open interest was seen at 34,500 puts. You can clearly see on the screen. Then 34,000 puts, then 33,500 puts. You can clearly see. And again, in these puts also, again the rise in the open interest as well as the writing in these puts, which clearly indicates that again the downside. I mean to say 34,000 would act as a strong support for the Bank Nifty for the next week. So overall, looking at technical patterns in Nifty, Bank Nifty, then support and resistance, then option analysis in Bank Nifty calls and puts, Nifty calls and puts. The overall view remains to be at least on Monday it would be a sideways. Then once we get a decisive trend or decisive call from the Fed meeting, then we might see a decisive movement in the on the indices. So definitely one needs to be watch out for both Nifty and Bank Nifty, and the 10 deciding level in the Nifty would be 15,900 and Bank Nifty 35,500. This would be the trend deciding levels, and once it breaks decisively above these levels, then we might see Nifty and Bank Nifty rallying towards the higher levels. So one needs to be watch out for this trend deciding level and then trade accordingly in the next week. So now let us come into the fourth segment, which is the final segment for today's show, which is positional call. In positional call, I have identified one stock in the steel sector, which has given a breakout of the consolidation range. The stock is JSW Steel. You will see on the screen where the stock has given a breakout. There has been a rise in the breakout. The RSI is also into comfort zone. So definitely the currently the JSW Steel is quoting at 731. Swing traders, positional traders can accumulate the stock in the range of 731 to 720 or 715 for an upside positional target. Initially, it will test 773, which is lifetime high, and once that breaks that lifetime high, then the stock is poised to test the level of 840. So for me, the next target for next 2 to 3 months in JSW Steel is around 840. So swing traders, positional traders can accumulate a stock in the range of 730 to 720 to 715 for an upside target of 773 first target, and above that once it closes, then the next target would be 840. So let us conclude the show. Thank you very much for watching the show. Any comments you can give into, or any suggestion you can give into the comment box. Again, I would like to thank you very much for watching the show and have a nice trading week. Thank you.